Hey, and welcome, Miss Kira Speaks. Please do your girl a huge favor and stick around till the end of the video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share with your friends and turn on those notifications. Ciao. Life be life, and I apologize that I had got caught up and now we're all the way back here. I did not have any days off last week. I worked 6 days straight, and then Sunday was my middle son's birthday. Happy birthday, Jay. He's 15. Where did the time go? So, and that week was really hot too. It was hot. I work outside, long hours. So by the time I got home, I was spent, getting food ready, cleaning up after myself, making sure I try to get time with them. Anyway, that's not why you guys are here. And honestly, this video probably won't get up until Tuesday night, even though it's Monday, but I digress. We are here for another recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15, episode 9, Better Late Than Ugly. So as the episode opens, we're following the ladies around and checking in and seeing what they're doing. And then we end up with Sheree. Sheree is over at the acupuncturist because, as we know, Sheree has fibroids. She doesn't want surgery, so she's going to try to do anything possible to avoid it. We're going holistic approach, full throttle. And she says it's also about her lifestyle, which I totally can understand at this point because, child, you get to a certain age and it's just zen, we got to have it, baby. And Sheree is acting a fool about these doggone needles. Now, I don't like needles personally either, but I have contemplated the idea of acupuncture, especially with this pain in my back, y'all. You guys ever had acupuncture? Get down in the comments and let me know how it worked out for you. So we see Marlo, and she's gushing to her friend / manager about this date, child. She gushing about the flowers, and she gushing about the man, and she talking about the morning text. And she does like him, but she is scared. She's kind of hesitant, which I totally get. But Marlo, she don't know how to date. She don't know how to text. It's a funny scene, even though, I just be wanting to skip over all the scenes that involve Miss Marlo. So we going over to Sanya, and she's doing MommiNation things. She's hosting her first charity event, and she says that there's a lady in Atlanta, and she's the founder of the only school providing private school education to homeless kids, and we absolutely love to see it. She's supporting the kids, so Sanya wants to support the moms. Now, that's one thing that I say when I get to where I want to be financially, that I really want to do a nonprofit for single moms. Just being a single mom and knowing how that struggle can be, no matter how hard you work, sometimes I would really love to do that. So I do love to see Sanya giving back. So Sanya finds out that the lady that was supposed to do her auction caught the vid, y'all. So now she has to find somebody else. And I think it's her business partner that suggests she gets somebody with a big personality. And she suggests Kenya, and Sanya's a little like, should I, shan't I? Because you already know Sanya is on shaky footing when it comes to Miss Kenya Moore. Now, speaking of Miss Kenya, she is shooting a commercial for Kenya Moore Haircare. Disappointed that she missed out on the opportunity with the Magic City Classics, she didn't want to put Monyetta's good choreography or that outfit to waste, which I think is a pretty smart idea. And then out comes the real star of the commercial, is Brooklyn. She is so cute, y'all. So adorable. I just love to see her. She's such a happy child, and she has her vibrant personality. And then she's, doing her little dancing, and her and Kenya's hitting their twirls. I just love her. So Kenya's friend, Roy, he comes through, and Sir has bought food, and we know the ladies, the men, they, all of us love when the people come through and bring us food. That's the way to the heart is the stomach sometimes. Feed me, and baby, we are good to go. Well, for the most part. Now Kenya's showing him around the set, and he's asking some questions, and he does look a little awkward. Maybe he didn't want to be on camera, but it was really cute. And so while she's at this shoot, Sanya calls and asks her to be an auctioneer. Kenya says, of course, because Kenya is down for the charity. Now, in her confessional, she tells us that this is the second time Sanya has booked something without going through her agent. She says she has one more strike. And I said, that's mighty nice of her, because the two and she would have been done with me. But like I said, Kenya is down for it because it's for the charity. So at Drew's, she's talking to her sister and her mom about how well her son is doing in school, and we absolutely love to hear it. They quickly talk about the video shoot, and her sister is telling her how important it is to practice self-care. I could not agree more, and so should you. So now Drew gets in her confessionals and she runs down her sister's resume. I mean, Miss Allison's credentials, baby. A writer for Amen, Martin, Rock, worked at William Morris, ran Wesley Snipes' company, worked for Johnny Carson. I mean, ma'am has tons of accomplishment, and we absolutely, again, love to see the Black excellence. So then it gets a little deep, and her sister starts to talk about the first time she went to a psychiatric facility, and a lot came up. She said she dated a guy when she was 22, and it was a DV situation, and it caused her some PTSD. She says that she never really dealt with the trauma of the situation, so we don't deal with things, they show back up again. So she went into the mental facility for the second time during the panorama, and Drew is saying that, she just wants to support her. They just want to be sisters to each other, even though the two are 20 years apart. And I know this is a serious situation, and call me crazy, but with the DV happening when she was 22 and them being 20 years apart, it is quite possible that Allison could really be Drew's mom. I'm just throwing it out there. It happens in families all the time. I could absolutely be wrong, but that aside, this was a really nice moment between Drew and her sister and her mom. There was some tears, some kind words exchanged. It's just nice to see a family supporting each other. And then we get dinner with the OGs. And from my perspective, they could have cut this whole thing out, or at least some of it, because at Kenya's commercial shoot, they said Cynthia was supposed to be there. And I think we did see her in a clip pre-season, and they cut that out. So we could have left her in and cut some of this down, because I was just kind of like, eh. But as I've said before about the Housewives of Atlanta, I'd rather be bored than the BS. So Sheree is there, and so is Lisa Wu and Deshaun Snow. And the two of them, they show up in their animal print looking fierce. And then in walks Kim. And I have not been a fan of Kim for many, many years now. She just comes in being Kim, crass, potty mouth, Sheree apparently has a trip planned to Portugal with the ladies, and so she invites the OGs to join them. And it's also supposed to aid in her healing journey. And I said, child, we shall see. But Portugal is another place that I definitely want to add to my travel list. So as they start going over who all is going to be there, Kenya's name comes up, and Kim's like, she's still alive. Now, she's mad about the whole situation with her daughter, and she's saying kids are off limits. And child, you started it. You put your child out there. And I say this as at that time, I was definitely not a fan of Kenya. So this ain't me taking up for Kenya, but like, really, Kim? She set herself up for that one. So then they talk about RHOA, and they on and off, and now they're back on again. She says they're doing well, and she denies her house being in danger when Lisa Wu brings it up in the conversation. Then they talk about Lisa and Deshaun getting a divorce right after the first season of the show. And Deshaun, she's just sitting over there quiet as a church mouse. She didn't have much to say. Kind of like how she was that season. Pretty face. Child, that would be me. She is not for reality TV. She's dating, and Lisa's dating, and Kim asks, how is it? So then we have to talk about Sheree dating, and Sheree's like, he's a good guy. We know who he is, but he gets a bad rap. Kim brings up how her and Candy hugged at Portia's wedding, but that doesn't mean they're cool. Kim, pay that lady her money and shut up. That is all. Speaking of Kandi, she is fresh home from a concert, but she's got Speak on it, and then she has the MommiNation brunch. So Miss Kandi is going to stay tired. We see everyone getting ready. Kenya's dress needs alterations, and then Sanya's at the venue getting ready. Her sister's doing her hair, and ma'am is pissed off yet again with Sanya. She didn't know she was going to be on camera. Sanya never told her what time to be there, and just otherwise frustrated. She's fed up. Sanya starts crying, and now there's a part of me that can understand some of what the sister's saying, but some of it is also on her. Like, your husband's not working, so what is he doing that he can't help take some of your stress off? Will you help deal with Sanya and her career? Child, let me not get into their situation. So her sister left. She was upset. She was supposed to come back for the event, and she did not. And I was like, yikes. So now it's showtime, and the lady starts coming through. And in her confessional, this is later on, I think right before Kenya came in, but we're going to talk about it now. Sanya points out that Kandi has been absent from many events, but she has showed up from hers. She has showed up for hers, so I guess I'm one of Kandi's favorites. And if y'all watch some of what's going on now in these YouTube streets, it's like, and over on Twitter too, it's like, yikes. All right, Sanya. So then she ends up calling or FaceTiming Kenya, who is late. I can't remember which one she did. And Kenya has a question about the seating because whoever called Kenya said that her guest couldn't sit with her. Sanya's trying to explain, like, well, the guest is going to be like literally at the next table. Kenya don't want to be separated from her guests. And she's like, you won't want to come to a wedding with child. Sanya's like, just get here and we'll figure it out. Like, basically Sanya was telling her, like, if you want to sit at the other table with the friend, you can sit at the other table with the friend. But listen, boo, you late already, so chop chop. In her confessional, Kenya says, better late than ugly, which was the title of this episode. So then they start talking about Marlo's date and Marlo's dating criteria, and it's so funny. They start throwing out things in like their confessional. They're like independent, rich, strong, rich, patient, rich. I mean, they weren't wrong. And Marlo tells them even her acid reflux behaved, and the ladies agree that that's a good sign. So an hour and 15 minutes later, Sanya's like, well, I better get started. So she gets up there, she starts to express her gratitude and talk about why they're there. And she introduces her host. And as she's doing that, Kenya walks in an hour and 30 minutes late. So they start to give out awards to the moms, and Sanya gives one to Sheree. I think she gave her like the OG Mom Award. And Cairo comes up to say a word or two. And I was like, it was sweet, but the people was asking why Sheree got an award, but you know, that's part of Sanya's clique, so it is what it is. So then Sanya and Kenya get to talking about what, you know, Kenya's there to do. Kenya's asking, you know, the specifics, how much you want to raise. Sanya wants to raise $50K. Marlo in her doggone confessional going to say that Kenya's dress looks like the Wizard of Oz house when it landed on the witch and the ruby slippers crumpled up. Ooh, shade. And I mean, it didn't look the greatest, but I did see, I think it was Fashion Bomb, had pictures of the dress on her, and when she was posed, it looked much, much better. If I remember, I'll try to put it on the screen. If not, I mean, you can go look for yourself. So Kenya steps up and she says, forget $50K, we're gonna raise $100,000 because it's $50,000 at that table right there. And she's pointing to, you know, the housewives table. And I am told that the Married to Medicine girls were also in attendance. I don't think we saw them on camera. Candy's like, you got your money. And then, you know, the girls, they pulled it all together. I think everybody gave $5,000 each, except for Courtney, who gave $2,500, but I don't blame her. She is a friend of the show. My pockets don't got to be as deep as yours. And it was nice to see. I love to see when the ladies are charitable and getting along. I mean, of course, it was always going to be a little shade mixed in, but Kenya did what needed to be done, okay? And in her confessional, Sanya agrees that Kenya was worth the money. Now, what money she was talking about, but she meant she was worth it, and she definitely was. So they didn't raise $100,000, but they did raise $78,000. So that's more than she was looking to, raise. But it was her first fundraiser, so she was kind of nervous. But I think that that's absolutely amazing. So as the ladies are walking out, they're talking about the event, and they're talking about the upcoming trip to Portugal, and they're heading out the door, and that is where the episode ends. Now we got a midstream trailer, baby, and I was like, oh, okay. And I plan to really get deep into the midstream trailer, but since it's late again, and I'm playing catch up, I will say some things that we did see is Drew doing this movie with Candy and Todd. She is one of the leads, along with, I think it's Erica Peoples, and I don't know the other guy. Drew and Ralph are headed for divorce. This whole thing with Mimi's ex is coming up. Kenya's yelling in somebody's face. Marla was still dating the dude. But anyhow, it's lots to come. So get down in the comments and tell me what you think, or just let me know that you stopped by and join me here for the next one. Until then, peace.